Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we've got another little hover effect for you today. It's very simple. We've got a little icon there. When we hover over it, it's going to slide out a bit of text content on hover. Really easy to do. We're not writing any code for this or using any extra plugins. We're just using all the inbuilt features of the Divi theme itself. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is enable the Visual Builder. And let's go down to where we want to work. I've got a row with 2 columns in it. I'm going to start on this second column here and we'll put a second one in. So I'm going to use the blurb module purely because it's got an icon with it. Divi comes as standard with all these modules, plenty enough to get you started on any sort of website. But like I say, I'm going to use the blurb module today for the icon. I'm not going to use a title because this is just a bit of info that we're popping out here. If you want to use one, obviously leave that in there. And that's a bit too much info there, so I'm going to cut mine down a bit. So we've got this. Let's move this over so we can see what's going on here. Okay, there's our basic blurb setup there. If we roll down a bit to image and icon, I want to use an icon today, so I'm going to hit the little switch, turn that one to on. I'm going to go down and we've got all our elegant themes icons here. Let's find one that's going to work. Let's use a little question mark. That's absolutely fine. I'm not going to use a link or a background. If you want to put a link in, obviously you can do that right here. If you want the module to link somewhere, put it in there. If you want the title, we're not using one today, but if you want your title to link somewhere, you put it in there. And as always, best practice, if you're linking to your own site, leave it in the same window. If you're linking off-site to somebody else's site, open in a new tab so your site stays open. All right, well, let's move over to our design tab. Image and icon. Well, I'm going to make that just the regular blue color. I actually want my icon to be on the left hand side so we can expand and reveal the text when we hover over it. So image icon placement, click on there. I'm going to pop it on the left. I'm not going to change the size. I'm going to leave it exactly like that. If you want to make it bigger or smaller, just flip that switch to on and you can make it as large or as small as you wish. Okay, to decorate the text, you can separately do the title and body text, or you can do it all together simply in here. But I'm going to leave mine just as it is today. Spacing wise, again, I'm going to leave that just as it is. But now here comes the fun bit. Now what we want to do is, all I want to see is that icon at first. I don't want to see any of this text. Then when we hover over the little icon, I want this text to expand outwards. So we're going to use a bit of sizing to do this today. We're still on the design tab. We're going to go into sizing. Now, not content width, but just width on its own. And this is common to most Divi modules. If you hover over the dark writing, like I say, we want to work with width today. If there's a little arrow there, click on it, and we can set a desktop state for when your mouse is not on it, and a hover state for when your mouse is on it. So for the desktop state, I just want to see the icon itself. So let's reduce this down. So keep pulling it back. As you can see, that text is reducing. And all I really want to see is the icon. But I don't want all this, you know, as we're reducing, I don't want it to sort of expand downward like that. So what we can do, we can give it a fixed height. So let's roll down again. I'm just going to give it a height of, say, 60 pixels. I might adjust this in a minute. Just put in the 60, it'll put it in there for you. And then what we can do, we can go over to our advanced, to visibility. And we want to turn off overflow, both horizontal and vertical. To do that, just switch it to hidden. And that way, anything that falls outside of the height and width won't be seen. Now we've got it a little too skinny there. So let's go back to our design, back to our sizing. Here's our width again. That's 3%. I don't really want to do it in percentage because that might cause problems on responsive devices. So let's change that to pixels. Let's try 60 pixels. Yeah, that's revealing a bit of the text, so we don't want to see any text in there, so let's take it down. Say 45 pixels. That should work fine. Great. Then when we hover over it, we want to see the whole thing. So I'm just going to write 100%. I just typed in the percent on the end of the 100 there. And that way it's going to pop out to 100% when we do that. And we've set our height so it can't get any bigger than 60 pixels. So we won't see it sort of in between, when we're in between our hover states, we won't see it sort of expanding downwards like that. I think 60 might be a bit too much. Let's try 45. Let's just look at that on hover. Get the hover up. There's a regular. There's desktop. Yeah, I think that's going to work fine. We're not clipping any of that text off. We can see the bottom of the G and everything there. So that's going to work fine. Okay, and the last thing I want to do, the time it takes to actually go from there to here, by default with Divi is 300 mils, which actually for this would be okay. But sometimes you want to slow down or speed up these things. And if you want to do that, go over to your Advanced tab, go down to your Transitions, and here's our default 300 mils. You can either type in whatever value you want or just put the slider up to where you want it. Let's make mine about half a second, I suppose. Don't want any delay. I want it to happen as soon as the mouse hits it. Speed curve I tend to use for hover effects. Ease is fine, but ease in and ease out I like a little bit better. They're all pretty similar, but some will work better in certain situations than others, so do check them out. Alright, so we set the timing, we set the width and the height. So if I just save my changes now, we should be good to go. Save the page changes. And let's exit the Visual Builder. There's our little icon right there. Nothing's happening when we're hovering around it, but if we hover on it, our little info is going to expand out like that. And that's a nice little feature to have on your site. Really easy to do. Like you've seen, we've done no coding for this today or added no plugins. You can just do this by manipulating the settings on the Divi theme itself. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.